Oh, Michael Chiavello, ringside with Mark the Hammer Castanini, and our very special guest, trainer of K1 Oceania champion Mark Hunt, Harpe Negranoa, and dancing, grooving, driving his way to centre ring. He was the runner-up of the K1 Oceania 2001. He is the real Slim Shady of Aussie kickboxing. Former Australian bare-knuckle karate champion, the Chief Peter Graham. Mark the Hammer, you talk about great entertainers, and you talk about this man, Peter Graham.
Well, Peter Graham always very, very relaxed. He's used to competition and he loves it. He absolutely has a ball in centre ring.
The traditional high round kicks, the traditional splits from the former bare-knuckle karate champion and former amateur world champion, the Chief Peter Graham. Oh, and being led to the ring by trainers Tarek Solek and the living legend Dave Hitchcock. He was the hero of the K1 Oceania 2000, recently defeating Paul Robinson, now stepping up to the biggest challenge of his career against Peter Graham. They call him the Fighting Haddara, Fadi Haddara. Mark the Hammer, a big test this evening for Fadi Haddara.
Well, Fadi's taking this fight on short notice after the big diesel from the USA pulled out, so it's certainly going to be the latecomer, Fadi.
Let's go to ring announcer Andy Raymond.
The semi-main event of the evening. We are scheduled for 4 2-minute rounds in this WKBF sanctioned heavyweight bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner and trained by the legendary Alex Toohey out of the Mundine Gym in Redfern, a former Australian bare-knuckle karate champion, a former world amateur kickboxing champion, runner-up in K1 Oceania 2001, 16 wins and many devastating knockouts on an impressive record, weighing in at a lean, mean, ripped, chiseled, buffed and cut 112 kilos, the Chief Peter Graham. Fighting out of the blue corner in this interstate contest, he hails from the Braveheart Gym in Melbourne, Victoria, trained by super promoter Tarek Solak and the living legend Dave Hitchcock. Coming off a win over the Iron Man Paul Robinson, he weighed in at 103 even kilos. Ladies and gentlemen, Fadi the Fighting Haddara.
All right, fellas, you both know what you're doing in here. It's a professional contest. Let's look like professionals out there. Listen to my instruction at all times. Touch them up, lads. Good luck.
Well, as both men touch gloves, you can just tell this one's going to be an epic contest of epic proportions. Peter Graham out of the red corner. He is bouncing around. He is full of confidence up against Fadi the Fighting Haddara in the blue corner. Joining us ringside in the commentary box. Well, good evening to you, Harpe Negranoa, trainer of Mark Hunt, the current K1 Oceania, well, two-time champion.
Thank you for having me.
Harpe, great to have you here. What's the champ doing with himself at the moment? Here he's overseas, Mark Hunt, back in New Zealand.
Mark Hunt's overseas sparring with Ray Siffel.
Well, Mark, of course, preparing for the June 16th K1 Melbourne Grand Prix to be held at the Vodafone Arena, but at the moment, it's the Chief Peter Graham against Fadi Haddara. Mark the Hammer, earlier in the week, Fadi Haddara said he's going to go downstairs and try and chop out the legs of Peter Graham. Quite an unconventional method to take on a Kyokushin fighter.
Yeah, quite an interesting game plan, not one that I would follow, however. So I think you're just basically wasting a lot of energy and time on someone the calibre of Peter Graham by trying to chop their legs.
Harpe, of course, you and Mark Hunt worked out a game plan for Peter Graham that won you the K1 Oceania 2001. How do you fight a man like Peter Graham?
Well, Peter's so strong body-wise. The best attack for him would be on his head because, of course, it's the smallest part of his body.
Comments there from trainer of champions Harpe Negranoa, ringside with myself, Michael Chiavello, and of course the former Australian cruiserweight Muay Thai champion, the Hammer Mark Castanini. Fadi Haddara just ties up Peter Graham. Referee Billy Sula separates both men. Good leg check there from Graham, then moves with the front kick off the lead leg. Haddara with a slight height advantage on Peter Graham here, Hammer, but Graham, of course, with about a 10-kilo weight advantage.
Well, both boys really just pacing themselves early in this first round. Not a lot of explosiveness happening at this point, just having a bit of a look at each other and the movement and openings. There you see Peter Graham just chopping in with the heel kick to the back of the thigh of Haddara.
Peter Graham bouncing around on the balls of his feet, moves him with a front kick to the midsection. Fadi Haddara just moving around the perimeters of the ring. Haddara yet to really sling the legs of Peter Graham as his game plan goes with a right uppercut to the chin. Both men tied up. Billy Sewell's keeping a close eye on proceedings. Good right uppercut, left hook combination there, and another uppercut from Peter Graham. Graham catches them again. Fadi Haddara dancing. Fadi Haddara grooving around the ring and smiling at the chief. And there it is, end of the first round of action. Mark the hammer.
Well, I'd have to say, Graham just landing a couple of good, nicely timed headshots there on Haddara. Haddara smiling, but nevertheless, those points will go against Haddara on the judges' scorecard.
Harpe Nugranoa, we go to the towels between rounds. Peter Graham would be the favourite here, of course, against Fadi Haddara.
Well, Peter's looking very sharp tonight. He looks actually better tonight than what he did in the K1 Oceania. And his hand skills have really 100% better.
Harpe, just tell us a little bit about the preparation of Mark for this upcoming big K1 event in Melbourne.
Well, we're trying to figure out ourselves, but we're going to do intense training. Most of everything's going to be explosive. He's a short man, but he's very strong up top. And the plan is to try and get his hands out as quick as he can.
Round 2.
And see if he can get his clip early and hopefully have an early night with his opponents.
Comments there from the trainer of champions, Harpe Nugranoa. We're getting underway in the second round of action. A big cheerio to all the fight fans right across the country, Fuzzy and Naya in Maryland, and of course all the guys and gals down there at the Blitz Thai Kickboxing Centre in Heathmont, Victoria. Hope you're enjoying the action here tonight. Coming to you from Club Marconi as Peter Graham unloads with a solid short left hook. Oh, nice snatching right hand there from the chief, Peter Graham. Fadi Haddara just takes him back against the ropes and turns him around. Peter Graham does pack a wallop in those punches, Hammer.
Well, he certainly does, but Fadi's a very cagey fighter, and again taking a fight on short notice. He's the Johnny-come-lately of kickboxing. Michael, he's always jumping in last minute, Fadi. I'd like to see him prepare solid for 3 months for a good, hard fight. I think he's got a lot of ability, but these late notice fights are probably not doing him a lot of good.
Here comes Fadi Haddara, the Fadi Haddara. Just waiting across the ring, but not really connecting cleanly against the chief, Peter Graham. Graham just smiles at him. Hammer, I don't think I've ever seen Fadi Haddara go down to the canvas either, so Peter Graham really does have his work cut out for it. Body shots there from the chief, Peter Graham, then launches the high right round kick, inside thigh kick from Fadi Haddara. Good solid second round here so far from Peter Graham, Harpe.
Yes, he's very intense with Fadi. Fadi looks like he's feeling, the punches.
Fadi Haddara just looping out there with the left-right combination. Didn't quite find the mark. Snappy jab there from Peter Graham. Another jab there from Graham, moving and maybe go down to the leg kick. Oh, clocks him on the side of the jaw. The solid right hand as Graham, Hammer.
There was 4 solid right hands, or 4 solid punches rather, from Peter Graham there, and he just caught Fadi with pretty much each one. Graham is right on the money with his hand skills here tonight.
Comments from the former Australian champion, the Hammer, Mark Castanini. Great story about the Hammer in the latest issue of International Kickboxer magazine and the Hammer's triumph over there in Thailand. End of the second round of action. How did you see that one, Hammer?
Well, once again, Graham is he's very strong with his targeting. He's getting on the money. Most times he throws a technique, and Fadi is really just coping in there in centre ring at the moment. There you see a push front kick right up to the face, landing that straight left after it. Graham, great technique and timing on his behalf, and he's really getting him in there tonight, and both rounds have gone his way thus far. Fadi trying to fight back. He's a very gangly fighter, Fadi Haddara. Arms and legs are always on the move. But Peter Graham has almost got him sussed. He's almost got him figured out.
Breaking. That's the pressure in breaking. Pressure. Don't forget the simple push kick. Simple push kick.
All right, Harpe, if you were in Fadi's corner, what sort of advice would you be giving him at this point?
I'd be tying the chief up because he looks like he's want to moving forward, and he's looking dangerous. I'd be tying his hands up so he won't be able to use them.
Into the third round of action. This one set for 4. Fadi Haddara against the chief, Peter Graham. Peter Graham, of course, the runner-up of the K1 Oceania 2001, losing by knockout to Mark Hunt in the final. But only after the chief had gone through Phil Fagan and Ron Seafoe. Fadi Haddara just letting loose there with a nice solid right hand to the side of the head. Graham trying the heel kick to the back on the left thigh. Graham now moving forward like a huge steam train. Oh, Haddara's worn some good knocks so far, Hammer, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what, he is one tough cookie, Fadi Haddara. He's copped some short lefts, a nice straight right hand. There's another left, uppercut, chopping leg kick, uppercut right hand.
Here comes Peter Graham. Peter Graham connected with a big good night Irene right hand. But Fadi Haddara just won't go down. Fadi Haddara just won't go down. And Haddara just smiles at him. Says, come on, big chief. Is that all you got for me?
Well, Harpet, Fadi is certainly wearing a lot of punches. Would that be because Fadi's got an ironclad jaw, or was it because maybe Peter Graham needs a little bit more power in his punching?
Well, I know Peter was prepared for this fight, but Fadi's doing a very great job trying to keep him off him.
How do you rank Peter Graham's punching power? Is it like, is he one of the stronger of the heavyweights
I think
at the
Peter
moment?
want to be stronger with his hands. He clocked Haddara with a few punches, but didn't really do any effect.
Fadi Haddara all tied up in the blue corner now. He's taken more knocks to the front door in this round. Peter Graham now getting chopped downstairs perhaps. But Graham's been doing a number on him in the boxing department. Billy Sulis separates both men. Here comes Peter Graham, the big chief once more. Fadi Haddara just ties him up.
You see Graham just trying to push Haddara's arms off him to give himself enough room to launch that right hand. Haddara, clever tactics holding on. Big right hand.
Well, into the third round of action, Hammer. We got one more to go. What a cracker it's been so far.
Well, certainly all the Chiefs' way, but how much punishment can Fadi take? Harpet, again, looking at Fadi, he's going into the last round. He's absorbed an incredible amount of punishment, as we're seeing on the replay here.
Yes.
What should he be doing to hopefully save this? Is it totally beyond redemption, or has he got a chance, in your opinion, to come back?
I think Fadi's got a big heart, and the way he's fighting the chief at the moment with such little notice, he's actually, taking the best that Peter's given him, and not many of the guys that were in the K1 Oceania took as much as what he's taking now. Fadi is fighting very good at the moment. I think I'll be tying him up as much as I can, because the less he gets his hands out, the better for him.
Well, it's going to be a game of survival for Fadi Haddara to see if he can go the distance. And Peter Graham right on the money here tonight.
I tell you what, folks, if Peter Graham can even knock down Fadi Haddara, it will be something amazing. Not even two-time K1 Oceania champion Mark Hunt could knock down Fadi Haddara over 5 rounds last year. Can the chief Peter Graham do it here in the 4th? Haddara is one tough nut to crack. And will Peter Graham crack him here now? A good short uppercut in close there from Haddara. Haddara wants to be careful not to back himself into any of the corners. Peter Graham will really go to town on him. Graham trying to line up that left hook. Haddara just launches the big right hand. Good outside thigh kick there from the chief Peter Graham. The step up front kick from Fadi Haddara. Just misses with the jab. Both men really sucking in the air. They're tired here in the 4th and final round, Harpe.
Well, I think Fadi he's holding on very well. The chief should have really had him on the canvas earlier, but Fadi's doing a very great job.
Mark the Hammer, you have to take your hat off if you wore a hat to Fadi Haddara.
Well, as I said, Michael, he shows a lot of heart. He always gets there and has a go. And I tell you, against an opponent the calibre of Peter Graham and the like, you really have to have a lot of courage to do that. Peter Graham, interestingly enough, has not really launched any real big leg attacks here tonight. He's rather relying on his hands.
Well, Peter Graham looking for the farewell left hook on Fadi Haddara, but it hasn't come so far.
And that's interesting, Michael, because earlier he was telling us about he does have a bit of a hand injury after doing a bit of a concrete break demonstration on telly there.
Exactly.
So it's quite interesting that he hasn't used his legs a lot more.
Good observation there from the Hammer, the former Australian champion. Billy Sulis separating both men now. And this one looks like it might go down to the judges' scorecards. In which way it'll go to Peter Graham, I'd say, Hammer.
Well, it's totally all one way, the red corner, Graham's corner at this point. But Haddara, a lot of courage. The Braveheart boy always has a red-hot go.
Peter Graham's got him back into the blue corner again. Fadi Haddara just ties up the back of the neck of the chief. Referee Billy Sulis separates both men. It has been a gutsy effort by Fadi Haddara, Harpe.
Yes, it sure has, but credit to Fadi, though, on such short notice. A man has to step into big boots to take the fight on short notice.
Also credit, I guess, to the chief Peter Graham. He continues to improve with each fight.
Yes, he does. Very much so.
Mark the Hammer, this one's gone down to the judges, and no doubt in our minds, all three of us here, that this one goes the way of Peter Graham.
Well, merely a formality. You will see Graham again stepping up. Left round kick, right hand over the top. And Graham really working the opposite sides of his body well. He'll throw a right kick and then bring the opposite hand through, working tightly. His hand skills have improved, I believe. He probably needs to step up a little bit more with the power, but perhaps in light of that injury that he did talk to us about earlier, after doing a bit of a concrete break there, he has got a bit of a knuckle injury, but nevertheless, Peter Graham ever improving.
We go to the judges' scorecard for the big boys who put it on for 4 2-minute rounds. We have a unanimous decision, 40 points to 36, scored by George Plellis, Gil Jones 40-37, Gary Tomanello 40-37. Your winner, the Chief, Peter Graham.
Well, there you have it, folks, as the Hammer said a mere formality for the Chief, Peter Graham.
Well, big guy, after a couple of punctuations in the career with a few losses, the hardware back, and you've got the winning feeling again, mate.
Yeah, I feel a lot better today. I don't know if anyone saw me on Fox Sports a few weeks ago. I actually did a concrete board break and I really stuffed up my right hand, so it's all there. But I'd like to dedicate this fight to my dad. He's sick in hospital with leukemia, so this is for you, Dad. Excellent, thanks.
A huge ovation for a very likeable character, Peter Graham. Nothing quite inspires like a father or a mother. Where to from here for the big chief?
Hopefully we'll get that American over here. I'd like to fight the American champ to show him that us Aussies, that means all of us, will kill him.
There we go. Peter Graham says, bring him on.
I'd just like to thank Fadi Haddara as well, and Tarek. Well, it doesn't matter where you come from, it's where you're at, and Fadi always puts up a good fight. Thanks, mate.